Yo, what's up family? Fallen Marvel here with a brand new review. That review is going to be for the newly released, well, this past weekend, Marvel's Doctor Strange. If you notice, I got me a different background setting I wanted to do specifically for this video, being it's been a while since I did a review, but hey, you know, I find it fitting since we got this whole nice little Marvel backdrop. It's just fitting. But anyway, with all that aside, let's go ahead and get this review. Marv, did you want to say anything? Only thing I got to say is that I'm back. I'm glad to be back, and I hope all of you guys missed me just as much as I missed you. Actually, no, I don't. I hope all of you had a terrible holiday and you never accomplished anything you ever wanted in life. Marv, what the hell is the matter with you? How about you take a look in the mirror and you'll have your answer. Let's go ahead and get this damn review over with. Boy, I could use the Sorcerer Supreme right about now. First thing I wanted to get out of the way, Benedict Cumberbatch, Dr. Stephen Strange. Not really much else to say after that. This guy indeed has a way of coming onto screen and finding some kind of way to just charm everyone. As the character, he really captures having that whole bravado and arrogance of being the professional as he is, as being, I believe he was a neurosurgeon, and he's just, you know, he's that guy in his medical field. One of the thoughts I had being first introduced to this character is he kind of reminded me of Tony Stark, except he has a medical degree. I mean, he had the condo, he had the cars, he had the timepieces. Like, I mean, he just out there just balling. Tony still got way more money though. That I will not argue, but I guarantee that their egos were roughly about the same size. They do a really good job introducing him as a character, but what I really think shined was how they introduced people to this whole mystical and sorcerer-filled world. You are a wizard, Harry. Marv, I think you're getting your sorcerers mixed up here, bruh. Don't matter, all the magic and sorcery and stuff in there was the devil anyway. Oh, please let's not go there. You're immediately sucked into the plot and you are understanding the motivation behind the antagonist, played by, I can never remember the actor's name, but he's also going to be in Rogue One later in December, but he's a really good actor. I can't remember the antagonist's name. It's something difficult, but I've never been able to pronounce his name. You can't remember people's names, Marvel boy? Marv, save it. So we get the antagonist's motive, we see what this world is about, we get introduced to Stephen Strange. One of the things that I did enjoy about this movie is the fact that just as the movie went along, we were able to still follow it as to not get lost. Like, the only way you could really get lost as far as story plot wise is if you really are not paying attention. It's not to say that the movie doesn't try to go for the cerebral, but at the same time, it's not to the point where it's trying to break down a physics lecture to you like some movies attempt to try to do, but just at the end of the day, you're able to follow along with the movie. Aside from Benedict Cumberbatch starring in this movie, I have to give it up to Chiwetel Ejiofor as Baron Mordo. I always like this guy's performances in movies. Like, every movie he's in, whether it's, I mean, the only other movie that was kind of so-so with him in, to me, was 2012, but I always buy his performances in any movie he's in. And I have to say that he did very well in his part. Tilda Swinton is the Ancient One. Her character overall was interesting. She was, I mean, of course she was supposed to be like this whole sorceress guru kind of character, but she's also well aware of her surroundings. It's not like one of those things where they're just like totally closed off from the outside world. They're completely aware of things going on around them, but she's very well informed. And Tilda Swinton she did a good job as the Ancient One. I had no issues with it. Or aside from the fact that she should have been Asian. Oh, I've been back and forth with a lot of people about that. But the thing is, what I'm going to do is probably save that for another video, because that's just a whole long thing that I don't want to take too much time with this video. But anyway, moving on. I have to say that the shining gem in this movie are the special effects and the action. Man, I have to say that was on point. As far as effects go, I mean, just when you thought that they couldn't have done anything more mind-bending, pun intended, They go and just dial that baby to 11, and it's just, it's a roller coaster ride. There's no other way to explain it. There was definitely martial arts being utilized in there, and the way they combined that with the use of sorcery, it was really cool. Like I had no issues with it, and I just really enjoyed it. Like, it was really nothing bad you could say about the special effects and the action. Like, all that stuff was on point. You got the spectacle. I mean, could you expect no less from a Marvel Cinematic Universe movie? I bet you would have gave this 100 just like them critics did in the early screenings. You know what, let's just move on to the bad, because Marv is starting to get on my last nerve with these little snarky comments. Oh, did I say something to offend you? I feel there was some elements that could have been expanded on a little bit more, and I just really feel like there's some things were kind of just sort of, you know, moved past a little bit, I guess, for runtime's sake. But I had a little bit of an issue with that, but it really wasn't that big of a deal. Now, while I did mention earlier that the action for the majority was on point, the only problem I had is that some other characters who obviously were also sorcerers, it's mostly just the main characters we really see turn up. Like, we don't see anybody else really show what they're capable of doing. The only other thing is that I really would have liked a little bit more motivation from Stephen Strange's character. It's not to say that there wasn't any there, but I just think there could have been more explored upon. The only way I can counter that is you are able to see him go through transitions where he's the successful surgeon, then gets into the accident, you see him going through that, and then you see him being able to be a magic wielder, and you are able to feel that process. So that's the only thing I can do to counter that, but still, I would have liked a little bit more motivation from him early on. Just like I said, I just think some things could have been explored upon a little bit, but I just feel that, like, at some point, just some things were kind of tied up with a bow a little bit, you know, too easily, you know. But like I said, it's not a huge gripe. That's the only thing. That's it. Now, before I end this, I just wanted to mention some of the things that I thought were interesting. Now, one of the constant things that was going on with Strange is, of course, his whole point of going to seek the enlightenment and stuff was to try to fix his hands, because he can never keep his hands steady. You could see the scars from the surgeries and everything, and like he still had a problem keeping his hands steady, and it was one of the reasons why he kind of had a hard time maintaining certain magical abilities he had, because he could never, he'd lose concentration because his hand would kind of spaz out on him. So well, that was one thing that by the time the movie ended, it was still something he was kind of struggling with. It's not something that just healed and something he just got over. So it's like, I really think that he's still developing and really getting more into the whole sorcery part. So I thought that was really interesting, and definitely left some, I think it just left something as far as like expanding the story, is developing the character a bit more. So overall, I thought it was interesting. So guys, to conclude this review, I'm gonna go ahead and give this movie my marvelous score of 8.5 out of 10. It's a very fun movie, very visually appealing. It has a pretty good story that you can follow. You know, it's a little bit necessarily by the numbers as far as like the MCU movies goes or whatever, but the thing is, like I said, it's still a good formula that works. It's still something that you know, it pulls you into the story, get involved with the characters. Still worth seeing. So I definitely recommend it. And like I said, if you can take it and you do not have a problem with motion sickness or vertigo, I'm gonna recommend you, just like everybody else has been recommending me, to check it out in 3D, because I've heard nothing but positive things about it. So guys, that does it for my review of Marvel's Doctor Strange. It was a great movie. I can't wait to see what 2017 brings with the MCU, as well as other movies that's coming out. And I'm gonna try to keep current with stuff that's coming out. Just life has just been nuts, and you know, you do what you can do. Yeah, you're real slick with the excuses, FM. Yeah, whatever, Marv. But anyway, guys, go ahead, let me know what you guys thought of the movie if you've seen it. Let me know what you thought of the review. If you agree with me, you know, put in the comments. If you didn't agree with me, let me know why. I look forward to exchanging with you, you know, whatever. So, as usual, go ahead and like, subscribe, all those wonderful things. And I will check you guys into the next video. Until then, keep following my advice to go nerd, but nerd responsibly. This is your boy, Fallen Marvel, and I am the returning Marv. And family, we are out.